and welcome to this video on the distillation of alcohol. Please check with your local laws governing the distillation of alcohol before applying the contents. Whether you want to separate your alcohol for consumption, oil making, reagents, or to preserve something, it first needs to be separated. The method that follows uses a still spirits turbo yeast to produce ethanol in a wash, and a still spirits column or spirit maker still. All the equipment was sourced from a reputable home brewing supplier in the area. The materials you'll need to begin with are a completely fermented wash, as pictured. This should be prepared a week or more in advance to finish on time. Please refer to the Brewing Ethanol videos for more on this. Next is a still. This is the model used in the video here, but you may not be able to find it locally. In this case, talk to your local suppliers, groups, and online forums for alternatives. You'll also need a water supply for cooling the vessel and for storage. Optional extras include distilling conditioner. This reduces overall bubbling and surging during distillation, and activated carbon for cleaning or scrubbing the ethanol once you've isolated it. To begin, set your still up in a clear space with easy access to power and water, ideally well ventilated and with plenty of light. Places like a kitchen and laundry tend to work well. Once your boiler is placed, check for corrosion, cracks and damage. This is important as the system is preserved, pressurized, and contains a heating element which, in combination with ethanol gas, may explode. Add your yeast to the boiler. Be aware of the weight and try not to pour the yeast residue into the bottom of the still. You can add conditioner at this stage. Most fermenting tanks have a spigot on the bottom that you can use to siphon off the contents of the fermenter and avoid getting yeast residue into your still. Now that the wash is in the still, place the top and the column on it. In this model, they are one piece. Lock the lid down with these locks. Again, checking these is important as the system is both pressurized and contains a volatile substance. Now take your hoses and attach them to the two fittings. This is your in and out flow for cooling water. As the water never makes contact, the order in which it is attached is unimportant, but it is a good habit to always have fresh water on one side and wastewater on the other. Now you insert your thermometer. Do this as pictured as it is important to get the right fitting. It will affect the accuracy of the readings made. Start the water flowing. You will initially want a slow flow rate of approximately 50 milliliters a minute. While you do so, start your boiler. This can be done earlier if you are careful and if you wish to save time. You are aiming for a temperature reading between 55 degrees and 65 degrees Celsius. Once this has been reached, close your valve. Doing this most of the way and wait for the alcohol to begin dripping out. Discard the first 50 milliliters of alcohol to come out. As this is continuous with the rest of the flow, the first portion should contain your undesirable alcohol. This will include fusel oils and methanol. You can expect between 2.5 and 4 liters of ethanol depending on the conditions during distillation, the fermentation, and what you've included as a base. The temperature will rise during the distillation process. This is as a result of the ethanol decreasing. The less ethanol there is in the wash, the more difficult it is to remove from the water. The more ethanol there is, the easier it is to remove. As a result, a high temperature is required to separate the two. And as the temperature goes up, the more water is included in the ethanol coming out of your still. At approximately 86 degrees Celsius, the ethanol is mostly separated. At this point, the yield is not worth the work and effort involved in separating it, as you will primarily get water out of your still and very little ethanol. You should turn the still off at this point in time and wait for it to cool. Keep the water flowing this entire time and continue its flow after you have turned the still off. After this, you can use activated charcoal. Activated charcoal will remove trace amounts of impurities from your ethanol, but there'll be more detail given on this in another video. Thank you for watching this video, and please post any comments, questions, or suggestions in the section